Okay, Public Works Committee meeting on April the 5th. Counselor Wolverton,
Here.
Counselor Gear, here. Counselor Sims,
Here.
Counselor Nelms, here, and Counselor Harden.
Here.
All present.
All right, can I have a motion to dispense the reading and approval of the minutes from last meeting?
So moved. Second.
I heard Harden and Gear.
Okay.
Yes.
Harden and Gear.
Harden and Gear, yes.
I thought I heard Sims.
All in
but
favor?
Aye.
All right, it's 5-0. And we have old business 070221, request for adoption of franchise ordinance for Spire. Mr.
I'm
Cooper.
not through with that. I'm actually carried over, please.
Okay, so we will carry that item over. 010220, request for updates on Green Springs revitalization project, Berkeley Squires.
They started line locations and so hopefully by the end of this week, depending on the rain, we should start some movement on this second phase. So the line locator was about a week behind line locating, so they were hoping to have them done last week, but it's probably gonna be middle of this week before they get completed. So everything else moving along good, the landscaping part's coming along, so all of it so far is going along good.
Okay. All right, we will carry this over then, without objection. And then new business is 160321, request for consideration of an AT&T easement at 234 Goodwin Crest, Wyatt Pugh.
You asked him to sign in?
Yes, sir. Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I've asked Brian to show the survey during this issue. This is the survey they provided of the easement they are requesting.
His name's Brian.
No, I'm sorry, I asked Brian
Oh,
to show this.
what's your name, sir?
Tim Hawkins.
Tim?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So we have a small cell site that was previously approved, and for us to get power to that site, the utilities are actually on private property that's owned by the city of Homewood. So we're requesting an easement so we can get power delivered to that site. It's about 150 feet. You can see it on the map.
Can I ask you, what are you guys doing on that site?
It's just a small cell, LTE small cell.
It's a small
wireless.
cell tower? Is that,
Yeah, it's a small cell tower.
okay.
Is that the pole that's gone up in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
On Goodwin Crest?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the pole is already there. Everything's already built. The only thing we're pending is
It's
getting
right
power
next to where
delivered.
the canine area is?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll serve the police station and then the buildings on the opposite side of that.
I guess I'm just trying to, Brian, can you put that back up real quick? I was just trying to see where.
You want me to zoom in on anything?
Yeah.
Hey, just a quick reminder, as everybody's talking, just make sure you're talking into the mic. I just had somebody message me that they were having trouble hearing, so just as a heads up to all, not you, not anyone in particular.
Anyone else want a copy of the survey?
Sure, I'll take it.
Yeah, so is this a temporary easement, or how's this, I guess, different from working the city right away?
I mean, it wouldn't be temporary. It'd be for permanent power delivery there. If you look at the property lines butt up right to the curb, so there is not a right of way there. So that's why we're.
I'm sorry, I just couldn't hear you. Did you say it was temporary or was not?
It is not temporary.
Okay. Thank you.
Is this is an underground easement, underground you're putting in?
That's correct.
Do you have a proposed easement document?
I do.
Okay. I mean, I got a drawing, but that doesn't tell me anything.
You need I could send it to you. I don't have it with me, but
Technically, there needs to be some kind of document.
Legal
to be
agreement.
did he
recorded.
send it to you?
I thought I sent you the easement agreement.
You sent me a survey.
That's all I sent you?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can forward it. I thought I forwarded it to you.
Well, here's what I got.
No, I
In fact, this came from, a copy that you sent to Mayor of the survey on March 25th. And I got a copy of that.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So our pole is there.
So this is the drive.
Right, this is the street. These are the parking spots.
Uh-huh.
This is all, there's no right of way there, so there's an existing power pole there.
And that's Birmingham on the other side here. Is this coming up the hill from the police department?
For the east, yeah, that's coming up.
That's the,
Right. So it's coming up the hill, you make a left on Goodwin Crest. And then if you go up there and look, there's a power pole existing in the corner. We're gonna come down that pole and then bury to where our site is at. But that's all private property, so.
this is that little asphalt cutout where
Right, there's like a
police
K-9
pull
sign in there.
for the entrance right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I get a copy of that as well?
Sure.
And is this just for general service, AT&T service for the area?
That's correct. I mean, the small cell is, right. And we've already been, we've been here for the small cell. That was approved. This is strictly for the easement to get the power to power it up.
So, Mr. Kendrick, do you recommend just carrying over until we can establish the?
If there's an easement document, I just need to see it.
Okay.
The legal, not a problem, it's on the survey.
Counselor Warburton, why don't you pass it pending that being provided before council?
Well, I was gonna say, if anybody has any other questions, feel free.
What did you say, Andrew? What did you say? I'm sorry.
Mr. Gwaltney recommended making any motion pending the easement agreement. But if anybody has any other questions or would like to move on the item.
I'm sorry if this was already said.
But you said it was an indefinite easement, not a temporary easement?
That's correct. It's a utility easement, so we could bury power to the site.
Okay, so utility easement, that's currently in our right-of-way for the city?
That's right.
Well, the utilities are currently on your property. There's not a right-of-way there. So the utility poles where they would normally be in the right-of-way are currently on
We own the property.
Okay.
So we own that piece of property that you're seeing right there. And they need to go across that property, not in our right of way, but actually on our property, correct?
That's correct, because there's not a right-of-way there.
Right.
So we're just asking for a couple feet, just right along the street.
So is this not considered like some type of vacation of that portion since it's indefinite, or?
No.
No?
We're just giving them an easement rights. We're giving them easement rights to go across our property is what we're doing. We're not gifting them the property.
They won't control the property on top. It's an underground
That's
easement, right?
correct. That's correct.
So we'll still control the property on top, we'll just allow them to tunnel underneath.
Okay.
I guess I was just confused because he did say it was a permanent easement and I was trying to
Right.
clarify
Most
what exactly
utility
that meant.
easements are. Most utility easements are typically
Sure.
permanent
So
easements.
does that involve any kind of lease or anything from the city for the work of the, no? Okay, all right.
No, I forwarded you the packet they sent me. I thought there was an agreement in there. There's not. You're right, there's not. I thought there was.
I can send you the easement
Yeah,
document.
I need that agreement.
Okay. I know in the past we've discussed easements and any potential financial transactions regarding easements. I don't know if anybody else has
I'm good.
any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Or Mr. Harden, or?
I mean, I'm not sure what we've typically done in the past for that.
We've probably done, for residential, we've never charged anything for commercial, it's really y'all's call. It's, you're conveying them some interest in the real estate, so certainly you can. be
Walter.
compensated for that.
Walter, do you ever remember us charging for a commercial easement? I don't.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we can't, I just don't think we've, to answer your question, I don't think we've done it in the past.
Okay.
Does anybody have any, anything further?
Are we able to build on top of that easement?
You would be able to.
Build, in other words, let's pretend we built a building right on top of your easement, not that that probably was very likely, but do we have the right to do that, or is it just parking?
That's why I wanted to see the
Yeah.
easement.
Okay.
I'll send you, I can send you the document.
It seems to make the most sense to me
Carry
to
it
carry
over.
this
Yeah,
over,
that's-
let the easement document come in so that we know what we're talking about.
That's the direction I was also leaning, so. Without, you know.
I'll make a motion that we do that, carry that over until we can get that document. Or
Second.
do we want to approve it with
No,
pending the
we'll-
document?
Yeah, you don't even have to motion, we'll just,
Okay,
we'll just move to
cool.
carry it over.
Okay.
Yeah. And with that, unless anybody has anything else, we will be adjourned.